You're listening to Forum on KORN News Radio 1490. I'm JP Skelly. My guest is Warren Elkin, a financial planner and senior advisor for Norhill Wealth Strategies, and we're discussing annuities. On the subject, Warren, is an annuity adjusted for inflation?
With the types of interest rates that you have today, you cannot beat them. So when you're getting 7.5% in interest, considering that the banks are paying 0.25% to 1.35% for 10 years, that is built in for inflation.
Oh, I see. Okay, and then what would be the guaranteed retirement income benefits?
Well, the retired guaranteed income benefits are this rider that we've been talking about, that when you turn it on, they're going to pay you out for the rest of your life. So if someone started with, say, $100,000 and they were guaranteed a 6% guaranteed interest on that, they're going to get that 6% every single year. And when they decided to turn that benefit on, they're going to be paid out for the rest of their lives, even if they've outlived every dollar in their account. So if you were getting an annuity, and some of them, again, are paying 7.5%, and you put in $100,000, in 10 years, you know that $100,000 is going to be $200,000. So you're guaranteed that $200,000. But what's also happening, because they were allowing you to mirror the S&P 500 or the gold account, if the S&P or the gold did better than that $200,000, and maybe it was $300,000, they're going to give you the higher of the two, and you can elect to take a payout where they're going to pay you out not only for your life, but for your spouse's life. And if your listeners want to learn more about that, just go to my website, warrenelkin.com. You'll get a lot of information on that. And anybody who has any questions, please feel free to call. I promise I will get back to you immediately. I call all my clients back. Anyone who calls gets a call back that day. You never deal with someone's assistant. You're never pushed off. You only want to deal with the person that you started out with, and that's my promise to all my clients.
Very good. Let's look at a what if. If, let's say, I would invest $100,000 today, what would the contract value be in a year if the market would either, let's say, increase, fall, or even stay the same?
Well, if you're in a fixed indexed annuity, the money is not invested in the market. So all you can have is a gain. If the market doesn't make any money, you haven't lost any money. But if the market makes money, then you have a gain. But you also have that fixed side where no matter what, you're getting that interest rate. So again, depending on the company, those interest rates are anywhere from 6 to 7.5%. So you know you're getting that anywhere from 6 to 7.5% guaranteed. But at the end of the year, if the market did better, you're going to get the better of the two. If the market tanks, you didn't lose anything, and you haven't lost any of the prior interest you ever made. So today it's really a win-win situation because there isn't a lot out there for your average guy to be in. The stock market is not for an average person anymore. The world has become so precarious that if something happens in Greece, it affects everybody today. So you have to be really careful, especially for those people out there who have $100,000, $200,000, $300,000. They can't afford to lose a penny of their income. They need to be able to sleep at night. They need to be able to know that their principal and their interest is guaranteed no matter what. I have a lot of clients that they're older, they're RVers, they travel all over the country. They can't watch the stock market every day. They don't have the constitution to watch the stock market anymore every day. So they want to be in guaranteed investments, and they want to be able to just live their lives, enjoy their retirement without having to get sick every time the stock market tanks that day.
How about then something in the middle, like a mutual fund, as opposed to strictly stock market?
Well, a mutual fund, again, it's great for some people, but again, it is in the stock market. A mutual fund is you're buying into many different stocks, and you have the possibility of earning money, and again, the possibility of losing money. So instead of going that route, why not take advantage of the annuity where you have that same opportunity with zero risk? So today, what we're finding is people who would never look at an annuity before because the stock market was doing so well, they're now looking into annuities. They're now putting some of their money into annuities. It's a very different world out there right now, and people are looking for stability, stability, stability.
I have another question that I just came to mind is a term that I've seen, a surrender period. What is that and how does it work? That's
a very good question, JP. All insurance companies, every annuity contract has what's called it's usually anywhere from, depending on the contract, from 5 years to 10 years. And within those 5 to 10 years, whatever you choose, there are surrender fees. And those surrender fees usually are anywhere starting with 10% all the way down to 0. So every year that you stay in it, the surrender fee gets less and less. These insurance companies, because they're putting so much money up front, that if you leave the contract, they're stuck. And so they have to give the consumer a surrender fee where they're going to get back that 8% bonus that they gave you, and that's the only way that they can stay in business. So if it's not something that you can stick with for anywhere from 5 to 10 years, you definitely don't even want to consider an annuity.
I see. And now, if let's say I was in on a 5-year contract and I decided I wanted out at 3 years, where does the surrender fee come from? Does that come from the principal or does that come from interest?
It's going to come from both the principal and your bonus that you got. And that's where it's going to come from. And it's worked out mathematically, and in every contract beforehand or any application that the prospective client would get, they would see all that, and we would certainly go over all that. So they're completely aware of what the fees are from year to year to year.
And that seems like, a logical explanation, because you talked about before somebody getting into this, you want to sit down a couple of 3 times and go over things so everybody fully understands what's coming down here.
Oh, absolutely. We want to really talk in depth and find about what your needs are. Again, not only today, but 10 years from now. And do you have enough money if, God forbid, you make a mistake and get sick or ill? And who knows what Social Security is going to bring for us? And we already are seeing that Medicare benefits are being slashed. I have parents who are in their 80s, and I'm seeing firsthand the Medicare benefits that are being taken away from them. So today, these particular annuities, because they will pay you out not only your lifetime, but your spouse's lifetime, that money will be there. If, God forbid, you get sick or ill, you know you're going to have an income for the rest of your life and your spouse's life, even if the account goes to 0. So a banker can't guarantee that. Your stockbroker can't guarantee that. But these insurance companies today, they will.
Is there a minimum investment amount that's needed to start an annuity?
Generally, it's probably about $25,000, probably for the better annuities to get into them, and they vary. So again, it depends on the company, and we always try to work with whatever the client is most comfortable with.
So the main thing is, if somebody is considering this, they really need to learn all the ins and outs and everything is involved, because this is a pretty serious step.
Well, any investment is a serious step, that's for sure. Investing in the stock market is a serious step. Investing in anything is a serious. Buying a piece of property is a serious step. But you want to deal with someone, and I can't emphasize this enough to your listeners, you want to deal with someone who's going to take the time to speak your language. You don't want people to send you information that only a rocket scientist could understand. Most of these prospectuses that people send out, no one can understand them. So you really want to deal with someone who will hold your hand, can speak your language, who's willing to take the time to go over and over and over as many times as you need, but not only as many times as you need, but as many times as your spouse needs, because people forget that people do pass away, and us fellas, we tend to live shorter lives than our spouses. So today it's very important that the spouse understands probably even more than the husband does, because they're going to be the ones that are around to pick up the pieces, and they really need to understand all this. And I never take on a client unless the husband and wife are both 100% committed and involved.
Warren, is there anything else that you'd like to add?
I would say that ask as many questions as you possibly can. Find somebody that you feel so comfortable with. Check into their background. The Better Business Bureau is a great place to start. Call the Better Business Bureau. Find out what's happening with that particular individual. Go to my website, warrenelkin.com, and get yourself educated and ask as many questions as you feel comfortable with, because you are the client and you deserve to feel comfortable and understand every single thing that's going on with the process.
Warren, you mentioned earlier that you do have a book out. Tell us about that again, please.
Well, I invite all the listeners to go to my website, warrenelkin.com, and download this book or call in for it. It's Don't Retire in Fear. It's written in basic, easy English for your average guy out there to understand. And sign up for sign up and go to my website, warrenelkin.com, and sign up for the weekly newsletter. Get yourself educated. Find out what the interest rates are out there. Find out what's happening out there in the world, but in a way that's easy for the average guy out there to understand. Don't let yourself be intimidated. If someone's intimidating you, then they're not the right guy for you.
My guest this morning on Forum has been Warren Elkin, a financial planner and senior advisor for Norhill Wealth Strategies in California. Warren, thanks for joining us this morning on Forum.
Thank you so much, JP. It's been a pleasure. I look forward to speaking with you again soon.